Chris Cox here. Got a great Kiss guitar lesson for you today. We're going to do Take Me from the Rock and Roll Over album. So the tuning is a half step down from standard, but it's not exactly to E flat, so I'm going to give you guys a low E to tune up to. This will help you play along with this lesson and along with the record itself. One more. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the opening riff goes like this. Let's talk about that. So it's going to start here in the 5th position. You're going to take your first finger and kind of flatten it out over the 5th fret of the D and G string, and you're going to do this. So you're going to do 2 quick down strums here on the 5th fret. You're going to reach down here and grab the E note, which is the 7th fret of the A, and then repeat that again. So it's now this part you're going to slide from the 7th fret of the A to the 9th fret of the A. Bar your finger across the 7th fret of the D and G and do it. Another couple down strums. So slowly. And so back and forth one more time. Then we go to this. So now we're getting into right where the verse starts. So you, again, kind of just barring your finger across the D and G strings. So the first one's going to be here at the 9th fret of the D and G. You just do it. Then shift those same, 2 strings down to the 11th fret, then to the 12th fret. So you're kind of just back and forth. So 9, 11, 12, 11, 9. Once you get to here, you're kind of going back. So let's go slow on this. So it's 9, 11, 12, 11, 12, 11. And then we're coming up here and grabbing this A5, which is going to be 7th fret of the D, 9th fret of the G. So then we come here, and that's just going to be a D5 power chord. That's the 5th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D, and then we're going to grab an A5 power chord, which is going to be 5th fret of the low E, 7th fret of the A string. That's the first introduction part of it. So the verses kind of stay the same. We're doing that same thing in the introduction riff. That again. Now it changes. This is the pre-chorus. So let's go over that part. So once we come out of this, the last time, I would come. You can grab it in a couple different places. You can grab the D5 and the A5 here in the 5th position, or you can come up here and go, which I think is a little easier because you can get to that B5 real quick. So the E5 or the D5 will be, that's open D string, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, and then that's just an A5, an open A string, 2nd fret of the D string. So then we come here and go, and that's going to be a B5. So 2nd fret of the A, 4th fret of the D, 4th fret of the G. You're doing a, so it's a down, up, down, real quick. And it goes. Then we come down here. Same thing we learned on that the intro, 5th fret of the D and G, barring your finger there. Stop the strings. Go back to the B5. Repeat the same thing. This time we go. And then that's going to be basically we go to the chorus, and that would be all the verses. So the verses are the same each time through. So pretty much what you learn there is also the second verse. So let me play slowly through the chorus part. So. So that riff there is just going to be 2 open down picks on the low E. You're going to play 3rd fret, 5th fret, and then the 2nd fret of the D. So that's 3rd fret of the low E, 5th fret of the low E, 2nd fret of the D. So then you grab a D5, which we learned earlier. That's 2 down strums from the D5 to the A5. You repeat this again, that riff. Then you're going to play a C5, A5, E5. That's going to be 3rd fret of the A, 5th fret of the D. Move everything down a whole step. Play the D5. That's 5th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D. And then play the 7th fret of the A, 9th fret of the D. So it's just. And then he kind of comes down here and just, anywhere on this upper part of the neck, just slide out and then kind of slide back into the same riff. So. Beats again. This time it does this. Go back into that same riff we learned in the introduction. And then we're doing the and that's the second verse. It's played exactly like the first verse. We come out, there's a little kind of like a bridge part that goes right before the solo, and it sounds like this. Which is pretty much the same riff we learned earlier, just a little different there. So it's going to go same thing. Then when we come back, you're going to do a 3rd fret of the low E, open E, 3rd fret, 5th fret, to 2nd fret of the D. So it's just we're here in the B minor pentatonic position. So the root note's here on the 7th fret of the low E. So if we played that scale, Ace is kind of playing that scale almost note for note for this first lift. So it's just. So, and there is a delay on this. I had a little bit of delay in the trailer. But you're doing a pull off from the 10th fret of the high E. So you're doing it. And that's just going to be pull off from 10 to 7. And then you're ending here on the 10th of the B. So we have. And then we do the same thing again. Pull off from 10 to 7 on the B. We end here on the 7th fret of the G. So we have. And then you do again. That's going to be a pull off from 9 to 7 on the G. And then you're going to do a pull off from 9 to 7 on the D. And then you're going to end here on the 9th fret of the A. That's a tricky part right there. You're going to come up here a couple of frets from the 7th fret of the A string. You're going to play that note first, and then pluck it again, and pull off from 7 to 5. grab the 7th fret of the E, and then slide from 7 to 9 on the D. So all together. Then we do a. So we have here on the 5th fret of the G, we play a. So 2 plucks here on the 5th fret. Now when you get to the 7th fret of the G, you're going to do a bend up. And then you're going to kind of stop that with your palm down here. And then you're going to do that lick. That's going to be a bend up. So you're kind of bending up the note, take it up, let it come back down, pull off. It's kind of fast. So you have. So you kind of see there pulling up, pulling the string up, and then finishing that lick there on the 7th fret of the D. Then it comes here to the 5th fret of the D and just play that note once, and then you're going to hammer on from 5 to 7 on the D to the 7th fret of the G, or 5th fret of the G, and then do a hammer on from 5 to 7 on the G. After that solo, we have this. We already learned that earlier. The only thing different is you're going to come down here and play all this up, several octaves higher. And that's going to be 14th fret of the D. And that's going to be 14, 17, 14 of the G, and then 17 of the B. So, when you come back, before you start it again, you're going to go 17D, 14D. So, 14, 17, 14, 17, 17, 14. So, and you're going to come here and grab another. This is just an A chord up higher on the neck. So it's going to be 12th fret of the A, 14th fret of the D, and repeat that again. When you come back out of that, you're going to go to the. That's going to be a D5, A5, like we learned earlier. But when we go to the chorus, it's played slightly different for a few bars. It goes. Okay, so that's chords we've already learned earlier, but we'll go through it. So it's going to be the E5 first. That's 7th fret of the A, 9th fret of the D. You do a 2 strums to D5 to A5. Go back to the E. Go to C, D, E, which we learned earlier. And repeat that again. Then we go back to that riff that we know, that's kind of the common theme of the song. Then we go back into this. Sorry about that. So it choruses out right there. So what we've already learned early in the song, you're just playing that out, and it's a quick little tune, great song. very clever, again, clever arrangement. I think you guys are going to have fun with this one, just like Ladies Room. It's different, you know, it just goes to show you how, what great songwriters Paul and Gene were, and Ace. They come up with great ideas, and they're very clever. There's always some little tricks in there, you know, in these songs that are a little different, you know, so the Kiss albums never sound the same. They all sound different, but hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be doing another Kiss lesson here soon.